Hello and welcome to today's blog. So today I want to talk to you about, making your health a priority, but most specifically, how do you find motivation and how do you keep that motivation as you kind of go along on your health journey? That's really the topic for today. So let's dive in. So, the first thing is uh, when you're on this journey of health, you've got to have goals. And often I hear people talk about their goals kind of in this sense that make it real challenging to really understand if they're reaching their goals. And so we use the context of SMART goals. So the SMART goal is really something that's kind of a mnemonic to help remember that how you to establish your goals. And that means it needs to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And so an example would be if someone says, well, I want to lose weight. While that's a goal, it's hard to know what to do with that. So if you put that kind of in the SMART goal uh, context, it would be, I want to lose 10 pounds by in 2 months. And so that kind of gives you more of that time frame where you can hold yourself accountable and move forward. But the first part in getting your motivation and staying motivated is really setting clear goals for yourself and clear goals that you can measure kind of your progress on. Also in the timeliness, I encourage people if your goals are really big, then to break those down into smaller goals because you need that kind of that positive feedback that you are moving in the right direction. And if your measurement tool is too long and you're waiting months for any type of feedback, you're not going to really stay motivated. But if you can break those into smaller goals where you're getting feedback, say, daily. So let's say part of your plan is to walk 30 minutes a day. Now that's something you can mark off like on a calendar or something that you did this every day. And and as you do that, you'll find that you're transitioning these behaviors into habits. And once they transition into habit, it removes a lot of friction points for your success, and it becomes much easier to obtain those goals. So remember to set your goals and to set them smartly. So the next thing you need to do is you got to work on stuff that you enjoy. Like I said, we're all on this health journey together, but we're all at different kind of positions on that map. And the thing is if you're doing things that you don't enjoy, it's just not sustainable. So if you want to increase your activity level and exercise more, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to the gym and get on a treadmill. And maybe doing things like taking a dance class or a karate class or something like that, something that's going to still increase your heart rate, give you exercise, but it's going to be much more enjoyable for you. But so that's really important that you're doing things you enjoy. So get out there, experiment, find those things you like to do, those activities, and really keep moving forward. The next and extremely important thing to do to stay motivated and get motivated is to have a schedule and to write it down. So whether you're using, old school paper calendar or some app or something like that, you've got to have a schedule. You've got to know what your day looks like because the reality of it is if you have things that you want to do but they're not scheduled, those often get pushed back by, life events. So you need to clearly have a calendar. You're writing out what you're doing, how your goals overlay that calendar. And so the scheduling is extremely important. Other things you can do is modify your environment. So there's the obvious things if you're trying to be eat healthier, then removing unhealthy things from your home. So if you got a bunch of chips or cookies or something around, we'll just get rid of them. But that's a pretty straightforward thing. Other things you can do though in modifying your environment are not only removing bad things, but then getting good things in place. So now you have removed the unhealthy things, food items from your house, but now you're going to incorporate healthy food items that you may reach for a snack like fruits, things like that. In addition to that, there's lots of research on things like plate size, and things like that on how much you eat. So you may want to make sure you're using smaller plates for dinner, smaller glasses for drinks, But the reality of it is you can do a lot to modify your environment to help you kind of on your health journey. Next thing is people often, when they decide to really focus on their health journey, they really bite off too much. And what I mean by that is you really need to look for kind of small daily changes, not these great big grandiose changes that changes everything in your life. So often people say, I'm going to get healthier, so they join a gym, they completely disrupt how they eat, and lots of other things. And so all this stuff, adds on to the stress of this and makes it not enjoyable, makes it more difficult to obtain, and you really start getting negative feedback related to what your goals and objectives are. So the thing is to really focus on making small daily changes. So it might be first just drinking more water. So you might say, okay, I want to be healthier, so I'm going to drink 2 more glasses of water a day. It may be, extra sleep. You're not getting enough sleep, then your goal is to add 30 minutes of sleep. Okay, it may be you just want to move more, and so what you're going to do is you're just going to walk 10 minutes a day. And so these don't have to be great big things, but they're starting points. And it's important to understand that your health journey is not linear. It means you're not going to just slowly always move up. You're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. And so it's important that you understand that that's how it's going to work. That's how it works for everyone. And so understanding this is going to help you on those bad days. Also understand it's just part of the process, and that this shouldn't be taking away from your motivation, but it should actually be adding your motivation, because those bad days are also great growth days. So again, it's learning to really understand that this journey is not linear, but also in the kind of the concept of the journey, you got to learn to enjoy the journey. Because if you think of a destination whenever it comes to your health, there really isn't a final destination. We can always be doing more things or different things that's going to add value to our health. Now, you're always saying to yourself, I got to get to a certain destination. That's going to become very frustrating for you. But if you know, hey, today I did X, Y, and Z, that contributes to my health, and I'm now emotionally grounded to this, and that's going to really help you if you can really learn to enjoy the journey. So let's say you're now motivated, but you're weeks into whatever program you're doing, and you're starting to lose that motivation. So what can you do? There's a couple things you can do. The first thing is to clearly understand why you started in the first place. I refer to this as to remember the why. So when someone says they want to lose weight, well, why do you want to lose weight? And kind of peel that onion, if you will, and really get to the root of the reasoning of why they want to do it. So is it they want to spend more time with their grandchildren, they want to be able to move and play more with their children, other things. But really identifying that why and remembering that why is really going to help you along the way. Another thing that's going to help you is to celebrate milestones. And that's why it's so important when you're talking about kind of SMART goals, to have those things in relationship to time that is going to allow you to celebrate the milestones. So it may be as simple as your goal is to walk 10 minutes a day. Well, when you do it, then celebrate it and enjoy it, and give your mind that positive feedback that you're doing the right things. It may be somewhat difficult things you're doing, but it's the right thing you're doing. But you got to celebrate those milestones, those wins, and always look for those wins. Another thing that's going to help you is to try not to do this alone. So the people that you surround yourself with have a huge impact on your success or failure. And if you're trying to be healthy, but you have a bunch of friends that clearly don't want to be healthy and live unhealthy, you're going to have to make some decisions there. But the big thing is to surround yourself with the supportive people that support you in your objectives and goals. So that's one of the benefits of joining a gym, is because you can meet people there, develop friendships, and these are like-minded people that they themselves are trying to improve themselves. The next thing to do is to be kind to yourself. And this is what I would say is probably everything I'm telling you today. This is probably the most important thing, is to understand that you're human and you're going to have slips, and it's okay to slip, and don't let those slips turn into disasters. So the analogy I always use is I love donuts, and if I have a donut and I feel like I've let myself down, that often turns into a vicious cycle. And I'm like, well, if I had one, I've let myself down, I might as well have a dozen. And that's really not a good mentality. It's okay to say to yourself, hey, you know what? You had a donut and you enjoyed the donut, and let's move forward. But let's don't turn it into a catastrophic event then, because I'm so hard on myself. Now I'm going to go eat a dozen donuts. But you've got to show that empathy towards yourself. Another thing you can do is variety. So we already talked about finding things you love. And so keep variety in your plan. That may be a variety of foods, or maybe a variety of different types of exercises, but variety really adds to it. It gives you that opportunity to kind of experiment with new things and find other things you may like, and then adopt those into your program. And so that's going to really add joy to what you're trying to do. Another thing you can do is kind of identify and prepare for those things you know that are going to cause you to slip. So if you know, every time we go out to dinner, I eat really bad, and I know I shouldn't. So then you can actually make a plan. Your plan doesn't have to be I'm not going to go out to dinner, but make a plan of what you're going to do in that situation. So you already know what you're going to do, and then you're going to do those things, and you're more likely to be successful if you already have a plan in place. So, the important thing to remember on your health journey is motivation is a great thing. It can help us move forward. Um, but it's also one of those things that, just like a muscle, it can get fatigued. So there's things you have to do to kind of re-stimulate that motivation, to keep that motivation going. And that's going to add value to what you're doing. It's going to help you continue make progress. Specifically, it's going to help you get through those kind of down points, or those friction points, um, in moving forward and beyond. But remember, again, this is a journey, and we're all on this journey, and we can help each other with our motivation, but we can also control our motivation a lot internally, understanding why we're doing it, and then adopting some of these other things that I've already talked about, in applying that to your goals and objectives in being healthier. So hope this adds value to what you're trying to do in life. And just remember, your health and wellness is up to you, but you do got it. So thank you.